Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And the house is rocking here in St. Louis. The Rams taking on the San Francisco 49ers. This broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. You see the NFC West standings. The winner of this will have first place. They'll be tied if the 49ers win, but they'll have the advantage of the head-to-head victory. San Francisco won the toss. They'll receive. Jeff Wilkins kicking deep to McQuarters and Phillips. R.W. McQuarters decides to take it out. And up to the 19-yard line. A 22-yard return. And now we'll look at the San Francisco offense. The starting quarterback, Jeff Garcia. Only his second NFL start, but he tore it up last week against Tennessee. In front of him, Fiore, Brown, Dahlman, Newberry, and Deese, and they will flip-flop on that right side. Charlie Garner and Fred Beasley, the rookie, getting the first start. Bryson Owens, the receiver. Greg Clark at tight end. First down and 10. Garner. Met immediately. Gain of 1 on the play. St. Louis Rams defense is ranked 4th in the NFL. They're led up front by Grant Wistrom, second-year man, DeMarco Farr, Ray Agnew, and Kevin Carter on the verge of an all-pro year. Collins, Fletcher, and Jones, a steady group of linebackers. McLeon and Light are the corners. Billy Jenkins, the strong safety. Keith Lyle, a Pro Bowl alternate last year at free safety. And yes, Steve Young looks intense, but he is on the bench. Garcia on second and 10, throws it outside to Garner. Garner hit immediately by Todd Collins. There is a flag on the play.
Saw the pressure right off the bat from the Rams. Going to try to rattle Garcia, knowing that Young isn't in the game. As much heat as they can get on him, as many different thoughts in his mind they can get fast, will be to their advantage.
And it is holding against the Rams, and that will give the Niners their initial first down as Bill Carollo is our referee today.
Prior to the pass, holding number 21 on the defense by rule, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Dexter McLeon holding.
There's Dexter McLeon working on the outside there, looks against Terrell Owens. Got that high shoulder, got all of that jersey in there. That line judge can get a nice shot of that.
Charlie Garner splits out wide to the right side. Beasley alone in the backfield on first and 10. Garcia on the slant route, hooked up with Owens. Terrell Owens up past the 40 to the 42, coverage by McLeon.
The most important thing for Jeff Garcia in this type of environment is how he starts off. And one thing that Steve Mariucci told us yesterday is that I like to start my young quarterbacks off with the confidence passes. And there you see the quick slant. And I think he looked there the play before when they had the holding, and they went right back to it. And don't forget about the size mismatch here. Terrell Owens working against a smaller, much smaller Dexter McLeon.
You saw Steve Mariucci has dominated the NFC West since taking over for the Niners. Charlie Garner slides through for 2 on first down. DeMarco Farr makes that defensive play, and London Fletcher's fired up.
And the Rams know they have to be fired up. One thing the Rams defense hasn't done, they haven't been on the field that much. Because the offense has been so explosive, what the 49ers told us yesterday is we don't have that much film on these guys, especially in the red area. They're just not out there enough. That could be a good thing or a bad thing.
2 tight ends in the ball game. Fan and Clark to the top. Stokes and Rice down to the bottom on second down and 8. They try the middle. With Charlie Garner, and Ray Agnew is there. Stops them for a gain of 1, bringing up third down and 7.
The Rams defense comes into the game, whether they've been tested or not, they're number 4 in the NFL against the rush. Number 4 in total defense. But you have to remember how the 49ers work in the West Coast team. They want to run just enough to set up the pass.
Third down and 7. Lawrence Phillips checks into the backfield. Jeff Garcia looking at the blitz. Here it comes. He'll go downfield. It's batted at the line. Looking for J.J. Stokes. It's like Ray Agnew or Grant Wistrom got a hand on that.
Saw London Fletcher on the line of scrimmage. One of the problems the 49ers have had, picking up blitzes. That's the reason that number 8 is not in the game right now. They don't get to Garcia before he can get it off, but where does the Garcia throw it? He throws it nowhere.
It was actually Charlie Clemens, the blitzing linebacker, who got the hand on it as Oz Akeem back to receive the Chad Stanley punt. Stanley had one blocked last week. Gets this away clean. Short kick. Akeem on the run. Fumbles it. Ball is still loose. Somewhere in the bottom of the pile, maybe Joe Wesley of the 49ers has that thing. And it is the 49ers football.
And there's the first big break early in the game against the Rams.
Ryan Akeem took a chance.
There's no way in the world he should have tried to catch that ball. And he got away with one, but they're going to give it back to the Rams.
There's a discussion now.
I guarantee that ball changed hands a lot of times under there. See, whenever as a punt returner you have to run up that far, you got to leave that ball alone. Remember last week, he dropped one, picked it up, got away with it, and scored. 49ers should have just jumped on the ball. I mean, they're all, white shirts are all around.
The Rams got it back. They'll start when we come back.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
So Azahir Hakeem fumbles this first punt, and there's a discrepancy in the call here, Ryan.
Well, watch the official. He's going to signal right here 49ers ball, and the reason they do that is so the ball can't change hands under a pile like that, but they end up giving it back to the Rams.
Warner on 1st and 10. Shoots it outside to Robert Holcomb. Holcomb stopped after a 2-yard gain. Darnell Walker with that tackle. The Rams offense has lit it up thus far, and the reason is this man right here, Kurt Warner, leading the NFL, the top-rated passer, also tied for the tops in touchdown passes. Pace, Newton, Grudidoria, Timmerman, and Miller up front. Falk and Holcomb in the backfield. Torrey Holtz, the old Isaac Bruce back, and Roland Williams is the tight end. And I say the old Bruce, he has had no hamstring problems thus far this year. 2nd and 8. Falk up to the 20-yard line before he is brought down by Ken Norton Jr. 49er defense, a veteran group, led up front by Gabe Wilkins, Junior Bryant Young, surprisingly back from his injury last year, and Marvin Washington, Norton Jr., Tubbs, and Woodall. Solid group of linebackers. McMillan and Walker are the corners. Lance Schulters and the playmaker, Tim McDonald, are the safeties. 3rd down and 7. Warner with time, walks it up. Intended for Marshall Falk, and he's got it up at the 43-yard line. Lee Woodall forced him out. Gain of 22, first down Rams.
The 49ers were talking a lot on defense. I'm not so sure they were ready to play that down when the ball was snapped. And Falk, he's down. He took a shot on that sideline. Beautiful pass by Warner. Right here. He's just going to come out of the backfield and head up the seam. But you see how many people in the 49er defense are talking? McMillan, he wasn't even looking at the play. And I think he took that shot coming right on the outside there by Lance Schulters. Look at this ball, just right over the top of the head of Lee Woodall.
And Marshall Falk is up now and walking around, heading to the bench. He seems to be okay. Could have been the wind knocked out him with all those bodies laying on you like that. We'll find out and let you know as soon as possible.
And that's where Falk has been an addition to this team. Not necessarily the running part of it, but you got to treat him as a 4th receiver, as we talked about in the open.
So Robert Holcomb moves to tailback. James Hodgins at fullback as Warner throws it again. He's got Isaac Bruce up past the 30 to the 34-yard line. 29 on the play. If there's been any group in the NFL that's had more criticism, I don't
think it's been anybody above the San Francisco 49er corner. Bruce is right here. He's going to come in motion, and the reason they motion him is to try to find out what the matchup is. Is it man? Is it zone? That one's a zone. And he just finds the dead area, the dead spot in between the corner and before Lance Schultz can get over the top.
First and 10, Warner. To throw again, looking in the end zone. Knocked away, trying to find Torrey Holt. There's a flag on the play as Mark McMillan had to cover it. And the flag is back near the line of scrimmage. And there's one in the end zone as well, 2 flags.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference, 29 defense, holding, 16 offense. The penalty's not set. Replay first down.
Rams making no bones about it. They're going to keep doing what they've been doing good. First of all, look at the protection. And you see Warner looking to that side. He's going to that side. They got the hold right in there. Udodoria, the center. But then they have the pass interference on McMillan right here. Anytime you come over the top, well, that's, I don't know about that one.
Yeah,
he does put his hand on the back shoulder, but I've seen worse than that. Rams going after the side of the corners for the 49ers. McMillan, 5'7". They're not playing against the biggest wide receivers, but when you're 5'7", the whole world is huge.
Marshall Faulk back into the game. The report on him was a bruised hip. Warner sets up the screen to Faulk. Faulk cuts back past the 25. Up to the 23-yard line. Lance Schultz and Tim McDonald get in on that tackle.
Dick Vermeil said this is going to be our first test of the year. And it's interesting when you walk around the Rams complex, they know that they haven't seen good teams yet. They know that when they play the 49ers today, that they've got to be on their game. They're going to find out, and that's what everyone said, we're going to find out how good we are and what we're made of.
Second and 6, Kurt Warner so far 4 of 4 for 58 yards. You see the perfect week last week. Bootleg. Warner fakes the shuffle pass, runs up past the 15 to the 14. Another first down for the Rams. 10 yards on the gain. Winfred Tubbs gets Warner down.
I think that's that attitude and that confidence that we talked about with Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner not only has the ability, but he knows he can take this offense down the field. He wants to score every single play. Look at that. Here he's going to give a little fake pitch to who?
To Marshall Faulk. You had the old shuffle pass.
But I don't think Marshall Faulk was looking for that. I think he knew all the way he's going to take that ball and run it. That's the kind of excitement and the kind of things that Warner has been doing with this offense.
Rams outstanding in the red zone thus far. They go first and 10 from the 14. Warner, pump fake. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Isaac Bruce.
Isaac Bruce said all week long, shut your mouth and just play football because we've gotten those talking wars with these guys before and we've lost. He shut his mouth, ran a nice outside-in move, went to the post, and got paid.
Isaac Bruce, third touchdown of the year. Jeff Wilkins adds the extra point, and the Rams look like they're for real. They're up 7-0 on the Niners. St. Louis draws first blood, a 7-play, 83-yard drive. Kurt Warner, perfect, 5 for 5 for 71, and a 13-yard touchdown to Isaac Bruce. Jeff Wilkins kicks this off. Lawrence Phillips takes it up near the 30, up to the 29-yard line, a 15-yard return, and the 49ers will get their second shot at it. When we come back, it's St. Louis 7, San Francisco nothing. And Kurt Warner throws his 10th touchdown pass of the year, putting the Rams up 7-0. Ron, as you were saying, the real big break on that came on the Oz-Akeem fumble recovery, which we thought went to the Niners, but the Rams ended up with it.
And this guy ends up with it, and he does everything he says he's going to do. You talk to him, and it's not cocky, but it's just confidence. He's got the experience. He's been around. He's traveled the world playing football, and he's showing it.
First and 10 from the 29. Charlie Garner picks up 4 on first down. London Fletcher makes the tackle, and we'll go back to Kurt Warner. And it's an incredible start for this former Arena Leaguer, getting ready to get into the record books here.
It was interesting what he said about playing in the Arena League. He said, because of that, I have the mentality that I've got to score every time I throw the ball. And every play is a third down play, because that's basically what it is in arena ball. And he's got that short field mentality. One throw in Arena League, and it's a touchdown.
Second and 6. J.J. Stokes in for Terrell Owens. He's out with an ankle sprain as Charlie Garner forced out of bounds by London Fletcher. Fletcher all over the field early.
One thing you have on this Rams defense, they may not be big, but they have speed. London Fletcher, a perfect example. Kind of reminds you of that Sam Mills type of guy, like you said, Ray. 5'10", about 240, but he can run around and make plays. Billy Jenkins, a strong safety, showing a lot of 8-man front. He just runs them right to the sideline.
And then he finishes. And that's one thing you watch for him. He's a good finisher. Third down and 7. Niners 0 for 1 on third. The blitz comes again. Garcia hit incomplete. Trying to hit Stokes, but he got nailed by Grant Wistrom.
Once again, the problem with the 49er protection. Steve Young took 10-plus hits against the Arizona Cardinals. Wistrom's right here, but there's going to be some more heat up there. Confusion. Lawrence Phillips doesn't stay inside and block Wistrom. He goes to the outside man. Another mistake, another hit on a 49er quarterback.
Lawrence didn't block either of them as Oz-Akeem fumbled that muff the first punt. Back to return the second punt from Stanley.
He got smart this time.
Stayed away from it.
You better give that Peter call, which means scatter and stay away from it.
And the Rams defense answers the call as well, forcing another punt. Their offense gets their second shot.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by GMC. Do one thing, do it well. By Philips, technology that's making life better all the time. By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. And by the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever.
Welcome back to St. Louis, Missouri, where the St. Louis Rams have a 7-0 lead over the 49ers. Grant Wistrom with a big pressure forcing the punt. Kurt Warner brings his group out first and 10 from the 35-yard line. You can see the Rams have been dominant in the first quarter. Warner to Marshall Falk. Falk runs into the pile. He'll get 3 on first down. Ryan Young in on that tackle. Let's go back to that third down play where Wistrom hit Garcia.
You're going to get a blitz here, and then Wistrom's going to come up the field. Dave Fiore doesn't block anybody, and I think he put Lawrence Phillips in a tough position. Now, Phillips should make the adjustment and come down and get Wistrom, but he stays outside, and that's why you got the hit on the quarterback. More problem for the 49ers in terms of picking up blitzes. They even put Fred Beasley in there to try to pick up for that, but they still can't seem to get it adjusted.
Wholesale shifting from the Rams as Warner on second throws it outside. Hit as he throws, but he hooks up to Marshall Falk. Falk tightrope the sideline, close to a first down. Right now, let's head to the Fox Network Center for an NFL update. Here's JB.
And Ron, troubles continue for Minnesota. Take a look at Randall Cunningham tossing it to rookie Jim Kleinsasser. He's hit, he fumbles. Take a look at linebacker Sean Harris. Scoops it up, scores. League-leading 10th fumble recovery this season for the Bears. Bears on top, 7-0. Ray Bentley, Ron Pitts.
The Bears.
The Bears. Minnesota stumbling a little bit. Dick Duran is going to do one thing as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Put the right guys in the right position. He may not have the talent he needs, but he's going to make sure what he's got is where they can help out the most.
And after the measurement, it turns out to be another first down for St. Louis up at the 46-yard line. Kurt Warner starting out a fire. 6 of 6 for 78 and the touchdown to Ike Bruce.
But that's the quick start that the Rams never get against the 49ers. And in a game like this, a game this emotional and this big, the team that starts the fastest has the advantage. Look at the receiver
downfield. He's got a wide open Torrey Holt. Holt with the catch inside the 10-yard line. He beat Darnell Walker. 49 yards on the play.
I got so excited I couldn't even tell who that was. I mean, just a blue streak running down the field. Some kind of coverage bust in the secondary for the 49ers. Torrey Holt working on Darnell Walker. Apparently Walker thinks he can dish it off or have help back deep. He just completely loses hope. More problems for the 49er corners. If it's not the fact that they're too small and play off and don't bump and run, then they lose people behind them to get beat deep. More problems in that secondary.
First and goal from the 5 for the Rams. Warner looking for the end zone again. He's got a wide open King. Touchdown Rams. Excuse me, that's Ike Bruce. His second touchdown.
On defense don't look like they are ready to play, especially in the secondary.
Wilkins has his second extra point. The Rams are up 14-0. Kurt Warner, his second touchdown pass of the day. Isaac Bruce, his second touchdown of the day. Bruce is loose in the Trans World Dome as the Rams have scored on their first 2 drives. First one 83 yards, the second one 64 yards, both capped off with Warner to Isaac Bruce touchdown passes. Jeff Wilkins will kick it deep. McQuarters and Phillips stand near the goal line. Line drive kick. Lawrence Phillips from the goal line. Phillips wins his way up near the 40 up to the 38-yard line. A 38-yard return for Lawrence Phillips.
The 2 big plays in that drive happened because the corners weren't playing aggressive enough. Now there, Walker doesn't even get a hand on Holt. And talking to him, he said he was going to try to be more aggressive. And then here at the goal line, this is man-to-man. Down here, you have to get something on the receiver. You have to bump him to throw off the timing. You can't let a guy like Isaac Bruce run against air. They will eat you up every single time. And that's what the corners haven't been doing. Jim Moore, the defensive coordinator, went as far as to break up and show a tape to McMillan and Walker back when they were bumping and running in the old days and playing better to try to get them to bump more.
Garcia on 1st and 10. Hooks up with Owens. Owens into Rams territory. Gain of 21 on the play, and that's going to be the key for the 49ers because it looks like they can't stop the Rams. Now they got to outscore them.
And I don't think the 49ers mind that much because that is what their offense is about. They want to throw the ball. They want to have their weapons, use their weapons. Steve Young may not be on this field, but Terrell Owens is, and he's limping off. Looks like it was, maybe not. That's just part of that swagger.
He did have a little bit of an ankle sprain early in this game. J.J. Stokes checked in for him. 1st and 10 from the 41. Play action. Garcia throws it outside to Stokes. Stokes with a catch and another first down. Dexter McCleon had tight coverage, but Stokes brought it in.
The Rams will do the same thing with their corners. They tend to play off. You have a huge size mismatch. J.J. Stokes, to me, I saw this guy in training camp, and he's just one of those guys that gets bigger every single year. Working against McCleon, J.J. Stokes is 6'4.5". Dexter McCleon, 5'10". Now, that route there didn't have anything to do with size, but they know they have that potential to put one over the top on it.
1st and 10. Garcia has the Niners driving. Play action. Throws it outside to Lawrence Phillips. Phillips with a nice grab. He did step out at the 24.
What a catch. I can't think of any guy that's more fired up to come back in here and play well than that man right there, Lawrence Phillips.
You hear him getting the boos right now.
He's going to get those. Interesting what Coach Dick Vermeil said about that whole situation. He said if I had to do it all over again, I might have done some things differently. That wasn't too popular around here.
He coddles Phillips as much as anyone could expect, and then some. Garcia with the noise, trying to change the play. 2nd and 4. Charlie Garner spins at the line of scrimmage, squeaks out 1 yard with the move, brought down by Mike Jones and Billy Jenkins.
I think everybody knows about the 49ers play script, that 15-play script. They kind of use that to get an idea of where the defense is, how the defense is going to adjust to different sets formations. So when you get down quick, you got to deviate from that script. You can't run it. And I think more of the game goes faster into the quarterback's hands than you would like. And in this case, I'm not so sure they want that. But Garcia is moving the team down the field here.
3rd down and 4. Motion from Chad Fan. Garcia throwing for the end zone, looking for J.J. Stokes. Incomplete. Dexter McCleon.
What a play. Dexter McCleon knows that he's smaller than J.J. Stokes. He's not going to out-jump him. He was a step behind, so what he does, he plays the hands. Watch J.J. Stokes' hands. He'll go right for the hands right there. Great play. If you're not in the pocket position and you're not in what they call hip pocket phase, you have to play the hands. That's your only choice. I don't know if J.J. would have got his feet down anyway.
So Wade Ritchie comes on to attempt a field goal from 42 yards. And that is dead solid perfect, and the 49ers get on the board.
That's a huge statement by the 49ers. You're down 14-3. Everybody talks about the other team's offense, how explosive they are. What do? They come right out and put 14 on you. They had to go down and get some points on that drive. Steve Mariucci knows it. Watch the push-up right there. You see that little separation that J.J. Stokes gets? He plays it perfectly. They can't call anything there. It's perfect. The ball, simultaneous, he knocks it down. Great play.
George Stewart, the special teams coach, getting the kickoff team ready.
What do they say when you go on the road? You better pack 2 things. Your defense and your special teams. So far, the 49ers have not packed defense. And they almost had a break, and I keep going back to this, they almost had a break on that muff punt. And in the past, that's the break the 49ers have gotten, but they didn't get it this time.
So a minute 34 here left in the first quarter. Started out all Rams as they score on their first 2 drives, long drives, ending with Warner touchdown passes. 49ers answer with a field goal. 6-play scoring drive, 38 yards. Garcia, 3 of 4 on the drive. He's starting to heat up as Tony Horn back to receive the Wade Ritchie kickoff. And Ritchie pushes to the 1. Horn finds the seam, and now he's got to beat the kicker, Ritchie, and he does. Up to the 50 before he's forced out of bounds. A 54-yard kickoff return from Tony Horn.
All that young talent that you've heard about that the Rams have and have had for so many years, it's here. And you know about Akeem, and now you know about Bruce, and here goes another guy, Horn. And he just times it up perfect. He times up the wedges block with his hit in the hole. Beats the kicker. He does a great job. He creates great field position, again, for the St. Louis Rams.
And Mark McMillan made a touchdown-saving tackle. With the return, the Rams start in Niner territory, 1st and 10 from the 45, and Warner going back for more. Here he is. Got Isaac Bruce wide open. Bruce, he'll go in again, his 3rd touchdown of the day.
Another party you have to say problems with the hamstring all last year, has gone through the frustration of losing to this team over and over and over again. Looks like McMillan got a little hit on him there, but then he just slows down. Schulters doesn't get over fast enough. Good awareness by Warner, putting the ball in between the seams. That looked like a cover two, and that's the dead area. I think McMillan's got to carry that a little more. Schulters is playing over the top.
Yeah, the safeties aren't getting over there to help.
Warner's going to come up and play in this area. The safety has got to get over the top somehow. But there's a dead space right here. That's why I say McMillan's got to feather back. Nothing's in here to threaten him. He's got to feather back, and if nothing more, create a loft on that ball so the safety can make a play. Whatever you want to call it, Ray, it's another 6 points for the St. Louis Rams. And that ball's going nowhere for Bruce. And I don't know if Bruce is just overcome with emotion or he hurt himself or what, but...
Well, he's having a career day already.
I think he is just overcome with emotion. I really do. Because he's seen so many bad games. And this was not over, but he's been through the rough times with this organization as far as playing the 49ers.
R.W. McCorders downs it in the end zone, and the Niners will take over on their own 20, trailing by 18.
Oh, my goodness.
Our word is Ike Bruce is down there actually in tears. He's so happy. Well, next week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader kicking off with an NFC West matchup. Kurt Warner, red hot as he is, and these Rams will clash with the Falcons. And then it's another NFC West battle. It's the Panthers take on Jerry Rice, who we haven't heard from yet, and the 49ers. Doubleheader action begins with the pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on Fox. First and 10 for the Niners. Jeff Garcia under center. He'll go to the air. Hit as he throws. Hits Charlie Garner on a crossing route. Garner out of bounds at the 34, a gain of 14.
Nice pick up there by Garner coming across the middle. Jeff Garcia took the hit. And there was a lot of concern from the 49ers about what they were going to do to stop Kevin Carter. Carter's on his way out of the game.
Look at Kurt Warner's number. This is not a bad quarter of football.
And you want to know why the guy had a perfect quarterback rating last game? You thought that was a fluke? It's like they say, is it everything you thought it would be? Yeah, it has been so far.
Jerry Rice to the top of the screen. Hasn't caught one yet as Garcia hands it to Garner. Garner will lose 3 yards. Todd Collins shooting in for the play.
The Rams also on defense understand one thing. It helps to have the lead, but they're playing still some of Flex Carson, the old defensive coordinator, still playing some of his defense. And the difference is this year, I think they finally got it. They finally know where they got to be, what the point is, and how they got to play.
Second and 13. Garcia on play action. Tries to throw the screen back to Beasley. Incomplete. DeMarco Farr with the pressure.
Nice play. Todd Collins, free agent linebacker coming down from New England. Blowing up that screen before it can even get started, and the screen is what you have to play well against the 49ers. It's always a huge play in their arsenal. The pressure helps, but Collins is right here. Now, this guy's been in the league 6 years. Okay, this is his first rodeo. He knows what's coming in a second and long situation. He's able to get there. Kania is able to get there as well.
San Francisco 0 for 3 on third down, third and 13. Garcia throws the back shoulder. He's got Jerry Rice, and Rice has the first down. 19 yards on the game, but that is the end of the first quarter. The score, the St. Louis Rams 21, San Francisco 3. We'll be back at the start of the second quarter. It's been all Isaac Bruce and Kurt Warner here in the first. St. Louis Rams up 21-3 over the 49ers here at the start of the second quarter. And that kind of sums it up right there. They are pumped up here in the Trans World Dome.
That guy went from wearing a bag over his head the last 2 years to putting on a wig. What a difference a year can make when you have a quarterback.
Ball at midfield. First and 10. Garcia on play action. Down the middle, he's hooked up with Charlie Garner. Garner picks up 31 on the play. Garner's an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield.
That's a great call by Marty Bornowig, the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. Lots of play action frees these guys right here. Now, the 49ers have been trying to give a steady diet of the inside run. That step right there that Jones takes is enough, just enough to give Gardner a step up the field. And the middle of the field is something the 49ers have been able to exploit in the past. They haven't been able to do that lately. Whether it's a tight end or back, they've got to get back to that.
First and 10. Owens in motion. Garcia looking over the middle. He hits Owens. And Owens gets hit by about 3 different Rams. Makes it up to the 13-yard line. Keith Lyle, the primary tackler.
I alluded to it earlier. Even though Young isn't on the field, Jeff Garcia has to play within the system, especially now. Not the ideal start you want to give your quarterback in a hostile environment, but he's got to know he's got Jerry Rice. He's got Terrell Owens. He's got J.J. Stokes. He's got a lot of weapons on that field.
Second and 3. Garcia to throw again, rolling out. Now he'll run it, and he'll get a first down. Good block from Charlie Garner. Mike Jones makes the tackle.
That's Jeff Garcia using some of that CFL, that Canadian League stuff there. You watch him, he's a little awkward, but he does get things done, and he is productive. And that's what they say, creative. That's a good way of saying you did the right thing, you got it done, but you look crazy doing it.
Last week against Tennessee, he threw about 5 different versions of a jump pass in the first quarter.
The jump pass is now fashionable, thanks to guys like Brett Favre.
First and goal from the 8. Beasley hammers it up for 3 up the middle. Brought down by Grant Wistrom. Brett Beasley getting the start today. Tommy Vardell, normal starter, inactive.
Remember, the 49ers have been through it. This is an organization that knows how to come into places like this and play these kind of games and has a unique way of turning a challenge. They're coming right back down the field here methodically and answering to the Rams score.
Yeah, the good news for them, there is plenty of time left. 12 minutes and 35 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Second and goal. Garcia with a bootleg.
He's got no.
Throws it in the end zone. There is a flag down. Looking for Chad Phan. Holding on the Rams defense.
I thought the coverage looked great down the field. Now I know why.
Yeah.
Holding 35 defense prior to the pass. You have the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Keith Lyle caught holding. First and goal now from the 3. That's the second defensive penalty today. Prior to this, they had just 1, did the Rams.
Keith Lyle right there. He's playing inside safety. Looks like they got a bracket. He's taking the first thing hot inside. He grabs a little cloth there.
Lawrence Phillips checks into the backfield. First and goal from the 2. Phillips into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers.
Boy, St. Louis fans don't like to see that.
Second touchdown of the year for Lawrence Phillips. The other one a 68-yard jaunt. This time from 2.5.
Talked about it, just going down the field, very methodical, not losing composure. That's what good teams do. And the Rams haven't seen a team do that to them so far this year.
Bring Wade Ritchie on. The extra point. And the 49ers answer. They now trail the Rams 21-10.
Official. Timeout on the field.
There was a flag on that extra point. We'll see what that was all about. Lawrence Phillips scored that touchdown, but it was against the 49ers. Holding.
Stand
They'll have to back it up and kick again. And now this kick doesn't become an extra point. It becomes more like a field goal.
Wade Ritchie, however,
Holding,
perfect.
90 on the offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay the try.
Junior Bryant. A little special teams work.
You saw George Stewart, the 49ers special teams coach over there. This is one of those things you never want to do again. Because most likely something bad can happen before something good happens.
Well, it's been all good for Wade Ritchie.
And he's got that look on his face,
Yeah.
too.
Well, oh no, it ends up to be a 30-yard extra point attempt. And Ritchie is true. And he is still perfect on the year. 10 for 10. And it'll be 21-10, the Rams over San Francisco.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by E-Trade. It's time for E-Trade. By Midas. Go safely. Go Midas. By Motorola, a leader in wireless personal communications. Motorola lets you take your world with you. And by the new redesigned Saturn S Series.
You're looking at the Eads Bridge crossing the Mississippi here. And
How do you spell that?
It's the EEDS is what I'm informed, named after James Eads. And the last two possessions for the Niners have resulted in 10 points. They're getting back into this one. And Ritchie kicks it to Horn. Horn from in the end zone. Turned it 54 yards last time. Give him 24 this time, up to the 23 before Zach Bronson makes the tackle. We'll be back in a moment. The Niners trail 21-10 to the Rams. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns thus far for Kurt Warner and the St. Louis Rams. They'll start this one first and 10 from their own 23-yard line. And it's been phenomenal thus far in the first quarter. Warner perfect on the day. Isaac Bruce has a personal best, 3 touchdown receptions. Here comes the reverse. A fake reverse, actually, as Marshall Faulk gained maybe 1. And it has been all Isaac Bruce thus far today.
And it's amazing because the Rams offense really hasn't been on the field long enough to try to set anything up. It's just been pass, bomb, touchdown, off the field. And Isaac Bruce is unconscious.
The Rams have run 13 offensive plays thus far. 3 of them for touchdowns.
They've got a 12-play script similar to what the 49ers run. They just got out of their script, and most of them are touchdowns.
2nd and 10. Play action. This is Akeem. Akeem.
Nice hit.
Met immediately at the 26. As a flag comes in. Darnell Walker was there with the defense. Hakeem had a huge day last week. 4 touchdowns, 3 receiving, and 1 on a punt return. Illegal block against the Rams. Officials still trying to decide what will happen. 49ers. They refuse the penalty. It'll bring up a 3rd down. And that's the confusion. They're trying to decide how they're going to handle this situation.
Illegal block in the back. 80 offense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Repeat 2nd down.
That's Isaac.
Penalty on Isaac Bruce. Right now, let's go for an NFL update to the Fox Network Center. Here's JB.
Ray and Ron and ex-Ram in the record books for the Saints here. Billy Joe Holbert up to Eddie Kinnison. 90 yards. Longest TD in team history. 10-7. Saints over the Falcons. Back to Ray and Ron.
This is a great day for Rams, former and present.
It's a bad day if you're a cornerback. I think there's a conspiracy to toast up every cornerback in the NFL today.
Maybe you're right. After the penalty, it is 2nd and 17. Warner throwing to his left. Steps up, goes downfield for Bruce. This one intercepted by Schulter.
What a play.
His 3rd pick of the year.
You You sense that this was a chance for the 49er defense to pounce. They got the break on the call. Watch Childress come off the hash mark.
Finally
now
got
he's
over
going to back up the corner. And this is a tough route because look at the ground he's got to cover. But I want you to watch the way he snatches this ball out of the air. And that's why they teach cornerback, defensive back to go up and take the football. Everybody thought when Merton Hanks left that they would give up something in terms of pass coverage and range. Well, he showed great range right there. Maybe Warner underthrows that ball and moves that as well. But a great play by Lance Schulter.
And that was the first interception Kurt Warner's given up in his last 85 attempts. It gives Garcia the ball at the 50. Outside looking for Owens, incomplete.
Garcia threw that one a little hot. That's his first interception in 85 pass attempts.
And I tell you, everyone, when we talked about him, the accuracy of his throws was the one thing that everybody talked about.
They're great. I don't think he got enough on that one. That one, he wants to put that ball over Isaac Bruce's upfield shoulder, hanging on the sideline.
Second and 10, reverse.
Great block by
Jerry Rice. Rice slide, trying to cut back, and he'll be down at the 47-yard line. He only gained 2.
And Derek Dietz is down. It looked like Derek Dietz. And that's huge. That is huge. He can't play. Derek Dietz has been the everything guy for the 49ers offensive line.
He's holding his left knee, and he's not moving.
Here's a guy that's played every single position on that line. He's played the left tackle when Kirk Sprafford had retired, supposedly retired last year. Then he went back to the other side.
He's playing guard right there.
See, that's the switching that they talked about in the pregame show. He'll switch from guard to tackle back and forth.
We'll take a break right now. It's St. Louis 21, San Francisco 10.
Here's the injury of Derek Dietz. He's playing at guard. He moved over from the tackle position. And it looks like Agnew gets blocked onto his leg right there. And that's where he does it.
So Phil Ostrowski comes in and plays that guard. Jeremy Newberry moves out to tackle.
I think that creates a lot of new drama now for the 49er protection team.
On third, there's a flag down. In fact, the whistle has blown as Jerry Rice made the catch, but it won't count.
And if I'm a defensive coordinator, if I'm John Bunting, defensive coordinator.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 5, offense. 5-yard penalty, still remains third down.
Garcia pulled out a little early. If I'm John Bunting, the Rams defensive coordinator, and I see an offensive line switch and an offensive line that has already had problems, I'm coming after you. John Bunting right there.
It's kind of a co-defensive coordinator situation. Peter Junta works more with the passing game, Bunting with the run game.
They've had that going ever since Bud Carson, who was the defensive coordinator here the first year they came to St. Louis, left.
Third and 13. Here comes the blitz. Picked up, Garcia with time. Throwing down the sidelines, looking for Jerry Rice, overthrown. Haji Allen had excellent coverage.
And now another 49er is grabbing his knee. It's like Dahlman. He's slow to get up. Once again, Bunting brought the heat. He knew he would do it. 49ers picked it up good.
Derek Dietz heading to the locker room for some x-rays, but he seems to be moving pretty good. Stanley comes out for his third punt of the day. The first one was 29 yards. The second one only 31 yards as Oz Hakeem is back to receive, standing at his own 15-yard line. Hakeem, a dangerous one. Said he thought he could bring every punt back to the house. And this is a high, hanging, beautiful kick from Stanley Hakeem with a fair catch at the 11. We'll take a break. The Rams will get another shot at it. They lead 21-10. Tonight tonight, it's the pivotal Game 4 of the American League Division Series when the Boston Red Sox try to keep their postseason hopes alive and break the curse and force the decisive Game 5 as they battle the Indians. Coverage begins tonight live at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. And the home team has had the advantage in that series, and this one will be in Boston.
We talked about pivotal, another pivotal series here for the 49ers defense. They have something they haven't had for a while. This is field position on their side. They've got the Rams backed up.
Warner hands to Holcomb. Holcomb picks up 4 on first down. The Rams being conservative coming out.
I think the game is finally slowed down for the 49ers. We talked about in the open the Rams being boxers and haven't seen a good opponent, haven't been hit yet. Well, they've seen a good opponent as we look at Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator. And they've come out and they've had 4 quick knockout hits. So now it's time for the 49ers to get another turnover to get back on the field.
2nd and 5. Isaac Bruce in motion. Warner hands it off to Holcomb. Holcomb works his way up just shy of the 20. It'll be 2 yards short of the first down. Winfred Tubbs made that tackle.
Washington a little slow to get
Marvin
up.
Washington now holding his left
Not
knee.
getting up at all.
Washington came over from Denver where he got himself a Super Bowl ring last year and writhing down on the turf.
More injuries for the defensive line of the 49ers. Of course, Brian Young, you know about his trials. Had the serious knee injury last year. Fought back, got himself back into playing shape and back on the field. Not the guy he was last year yet. He still doesn't quite have his feet underneath him.
Yeah, he said he had his hands back, but
got
not
his
quite
hands
his feet.
back, right. But he doesn't have his feet. And they've been playing him an awful lot. You would think they would take him out, give him some rest, work him back in slowly, but they've had him out there going. And this is another thing that goes hand in foot with the cornerback situation. See if we can see what happened to Washington. Oh,
Left leg buckled.
Ugh. Not that that injury won't happen on grass, but in this turf, once you get that foot stuck into that carpet, it's not coming out.
Jordan and Gretzky have retired. Big Mac is in hibernation until the spring, but possibly the most exciting athlete today is just getting warmed up. It's Brett Favre, and it's next week a Fox doubleheader as the Packers take on the Broncos. Coverage begins with a pregame show at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. And that guy is a stone-cold player.
Yes, he is. He's looking more like the MVP that he was a couple of years ago.
Get a chance for a rematch against the Denver Broncos, who aren't quite what they once were.
It's amazing. You lose John Elway, arguably the best quarterback to ever play, one of the best. And you lose arguably the best running back to ever play. Terrell Davis gets hurt. So many injuries. So many what last year were the best players in the league. But I think that's opened it up for guys like Kurt Warner, even guys like Jeff Garcia, new guys that come up, step up, and play and be accounted for, and showing people what they are and what they've got.
Well, they've got Marvin Washington walking off the field, and now they bring out the cart.
And they've also got a big 3rd and 1, too.
That's a lonely ride. I've taken that ride.
I'm Jim Moore, the defensive coordinator. My question is, how am I going to get pressure to help my already struggling secondary? Look at Jim Moore right there.
So Brenton Buckner moves in. Marvin Washington is now being driven off the football field.
This is where guys like Charles Haley have to come up and step up. Charles Haley pretty much relegated to just the 3rd down rusher, pure rusher.
He's in there on this third down. Third down and 1. And this is Robert Holcomb trying to stretch it outside. With a second effort, he gets the first down up to the 27. A gain of 6 before Lance Schulter takes him down.
Great second effort by Robert Holcomb. Now this is why scouts always look at rookies coming out and they want to see how many yards they get after the first hit. There, Winford Tubbs has got him wrapped up. Schulter's got him wrapped up. That's just a combination of bad tackling and keeping your feet moving.
Holcomb has put on some weight. He was a tailback last year, moved into fullback at minicamp. They liked him there so much, he's earned the starting job. And he'll take it from the tailback spot, squirt through for 4 more yards, and Charles Haley ends up making the tackle.
49ers talked about hitting the Rams in the mouth early, right off the bat, to jog that memory, to bring back that 17 straight loss memory. Well, so far, the only hit in the face has been the Rams hitting them. They've had a couple standing 8 counts. Saw that time James Hodgins running up in the hole, leading, just blowing Winford Tubbs up, making a nice fill.
The Rams go with that big backfield of Hodgins and Holcomb as Marshall Faulk taking a breather on the sideline. Second and 5. Play action. Warner looking for the shovel pass, and he's got it to Holcomb. Holcomb up past the 40, all the way to the 46-yard line, a gain of 12 before Brenton Buckner runs him down.
They tried to run that play in the first quarter with Faulk. They couldn't get it done, and the beauty of that play is if you bobble the handoff or the pitch, it's an incomplete pass. It's not a fumble. The play action works the opposite side to freeze the linebackers. They just were trying to get Ken Norton to commit. As soon as he committed to Warner, now he pitches it. Now, I kind of hate that play because every time I've seen it run, something bad happens. I know you hate it because Jim Kelly ran in the Super Bowl and they fumbled the ball.
Didn't help out, did it?
Or it was intercepted, excuse me.
Right. So it's first down and 10. And Warner will go back to the air. There's a flag down. He passed the ball and dumps it out to Holcomb. Holcomb up past the 50 before he's wrapped. Tubbs on the stop along with Haley. See what the flag is. And they're pointing a false start in the direction of the Rams.
Illegal formation, 6 men on the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Got to have 7 up on the line of scrimmage. Jim Hanifin, former head coach here. The original St. Louis Cardinal. Offensive line coach, he's had some good ones. You remember his days back in Washington with the Hogs.
Oh, yeah. I got the scars to remember those by.
Oh, that counter tray? Huh?
Yeah.
that lag action back there.
After the penalty, first and 15, Warner. Haley going outside, incomplete.
We just talked about Charles Haley. Figured he'd step up, he'd have to come alive. And there he is.
Working on Fred Miller. That's the matchup we thought we would get, too.
Fred Miller has played high at times, and he's given up the inside. That time, Charles Haley just bull rushes him. You think a guy that's been in the league 13 years, has had the back surgery, the back problem, retired, they talked him out of it, came back, he missed all the training camp. You would think he wouldn't have that kind of ability. But Charles Haley has that kind of ability and can still get pressure on the quarterback when he has it.
Second and 15, and the flags are out again.
You feel the Rams, they lost the momentum. They're getting a little sloppy. And I think part of that is by the coordinator.
Snap, illegal snap on the offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator, I think he tried to pull them back. They're up 21-10. They come out the box flying. There's Martz there. I think he wants to run the ball here, pull them back, and just kind of settle in. Got to be careful doing that because this is a team that plays best playing fast. A lot of teams have shot themselves in the foot trying to do something that they're really not.
So it is second down and 20 after the consecutive penalty. Warner with all day. Checks back to the backside. Hooks up with Torrey Holt.
That's
Well, 11 on that play. It'll be a 3rd and 9.
Excuse me, Ray. Also, you notice Warner holding the ball a lot more. The coverage downfield, 49ers starting to get more people in the pass coverage.
Mark McMillan made that last play. It brings up 3rd down and 9 now. As Warner goes to the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. And you get a lean going on at Orlando Pace. It's the 3rd penalty of this drive against the Rams.
The Rams have gotten real sloppy. In a quarter that
snap, full start, 76 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Coming in, they average just 4.7. Good for second best in the NFL. Already 6 penalties today, 3 on this drive.
3rd.
Makes it 3rd and 14. Again, 4 wide receivers in the mix. Warner goes out of the shotgun. He throws the home run ball looking for Ike Bruce. Bruce can't catch up to the football. Incomplete. There is a flag down as Darnell Walker was bumping Isaac Bruce. And that's what it is. Pass interference on Walker. His 2nd pass interference of the day.
Darnell Walker talked about the speed of Isaac Bruce, how he gets everything fast on you. He gets up on you fast. He can swim around you fast. Right here. He eats up your cushion. Walker playing from off. No bump and run. So that's at a disadvantage right there, and he's got a hard time running with him. That little push after 5 yards, illegal. Here's Pace in the protection. Technique not great, but he got the job done.
Kept Jeff Posey off of Kurt Warner.
That's not going to make any how-to-play tackle in the NFL videos, but he kept the pressure off.
So with the penalty, it is now 1st and 10 from the 24, and Holcomb hammers the middle for 2 yards. And Marshall Faulk has been out of this series entirely, but they're just resting him, giving Holcomb a chance to run in that tailback spot.
I think the 49ers are rolling the dice trying to figure out what to do defensively. The big play there with Isaac Bruce, the play before, Brian Young not even on the field. They went to a 3-man look, 3-man rush look, and they actually dropped Junior Bryant trying to get maximum coverage in the secondary, and they still get beat. I think it goes back to one thing, the corners having to play bump and run. But in the corners defense, if they don't have the speed or they don't feel they have the speed to run, you're not going to stay up there. It's like pick your death.
30 seconds.
You want to die quick or you want to die slower?
I'd rather die quick myself as the St. Louis Rams use their first timeout. And coming up, some of you will see the ultimate in head-to-head competition as world champion and Olympic athletes join forces as Fox Sports presents the Grand Slam of Skating World Super Teams Challenge. Check local listings for the start time in your area. The Rams have been a great first half football team thus far this year, outscoring their opponent 66-6. You look at those leads they've taken in each game so far.
You look at that number and it almost doesn't look real. But that's the kind of football they play, and that's the kind of start they've had. Everything has gone right. And if you didn't believe it before today, at least through the first half of this game, you have to start believing it.
Second down and 8. Warner with a pump fake, looking down the middle. Touchdown, Jeff Robinson. 22 yards. First touchdown of Robinson's career.
The 49ers came in here with any thoughts of the same old Rams. Those thoughts are pretty well extinguished by now. And that's just a great pass by Kurt Warner. The coverage was perfect. It can't be any better from a linebacker standpoint.
And That is the 4th touchdown pass of the day for Kurt Warner. Now it's 13 on the year. Wilkins adds the extra point, and the Rams go up 28-10.
Right here, watch up. Coming straight up the field. Woodall is right there.
It's a great throw.
It's just a great throw. There is nothing. There's nothing to say about it. It's just a great throw. If you're going to give your corners help, and you're going to help everybody else all out over the field, then you have to have somebody stand alone.
And that's a great adjustment from Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator. We know they're going to help the corners on the outside.
Look at the safeties. The safeties are on the outside helping. You've been beat there so much, you have to. And as you say, Ray, Mike Martz, offensive coordinator, is okay, I'm going to start to get help to those corners I've been beating up on, so let me attack the middle of the field.
Jeff Robinson played defensive line here before. Moved to tight end in the mini camp. They liked him there. Gets himself a touchdown reception. 28-10 Rams. As Warner, you see the record on the graphic. R.W. McQuarters with the return. McQuarters stumbles up to the 30-yard line before he is holed under. Haji Allen making the special teams play along with others. A 22-yard return for R.W. McQuarters. Let's go back to that Kurt Warner thing. This is now an NFL record. 13 touchdown passes in his first 4 starts. Really, it's only 3.5 games. We're not even to halftime yet.
The guy does everything he says he's going to do. He's not cocky, he's confident. He just says, I believe that I can score every time I get the ball. That's the way I've been trained. That's the experience I've had. And that's what he looks like when he's out there.
The numbers are mind-boggling.
And now Jeff Garcia gets put once again in a huge hole.
And the crowd gets back into it, and there's a flag down. They'll stop this one. Here's someone yell right guard. That would be Phil Ostrowski for the false start.
Prior to the snap, false start. 69, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You see, one of the things the 49ers are doing here, they put the tight end to that right side to kind of make up and shorten the corner and make up for the loss of piece there on the tackle position or the guard position, whatever you want to call it. Give it a short corner.
First and 15 after the penalty. 3 wide receivers. Rams still blitz, but they don't come. Lawrence Phillips picks up 6 on first. London Fletcher along with Charlie Clemens make the tackle. Phillips is limping.
Yeah, he's limping, and he's also getting booed.
His shoe came off. Maybe that's why he's limping. So it's second down and 9 now as Garner checks back in. Actually, Beasley checks back in. Garner in the slot. Oh. They throw it out to Charlie Garner. Garner goes out of bounds a yard shy of the first down. Todd Light forces him out.
Looked like DeMarco Farr got up the field so fast. Farr playing at the nose tackle position. He's working on Ostrowski right there. Look at this. Boom. I mean, he's in there. If it's not for the great ad-lib and the jump pass by Garcia, that's a shot in the mouth.
And Garcia is very accurate on those jump passes.
He better be. Well, that kind of action going on.
3rd and 1. Garner hitting the backfield. He won't get there.
There's your guy.
London Fletcher. I tell you, I saw the film on this kid, and I said, remind me of Sam Mills. He's a good football player.
He's not going to break any height records. He might be 5'10", but he comes. And they've been plugging inside all day. And he does a good job of staying backside. I hear you talk about that a lot, Ray, and I know at the corner I'm not supposed to know anything about that, but I do.
Right.
He didn't fall over and chase the play. He stayed in the hole and filled in the hole.
And he shuffles so well, he never gets his feet crossed, so he can fall back on that. Stanley's punt to Akeem. Akeem is hit early.
That could be interference.
Flagged down. He was probably interfered with.
But it looked like he was blocked into Akeem. I don't know how they're going to call it.
Pearson Frelo, who is, he's saying he got blocked into that.
Because they were riding him all the way down the field.
Mariucci making his case.
There's no foul in the play. The play was blocked into him by rule. There is no infraction. First down.
Right here, there's Frelo running down the field.
Actually got clipped. I don't know. A little suspect to me.
No, he let go of him. He let go of him in time for him to stop it.
Yeah.
It's gray area.
But they made
He rode him pretty far down there. And it's not a matter of yards that the returner has to have. It's just a decision by the official.
Does he have an opportunity to
Does he
catch
have
the
an
ball?
opportunity, a fair opportunity to catch the football?
So the ball squirted out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Called to 9. That's where the Rams take over with 2:06 left here in the first half. Warner hit. The ball is out. This will be a touchdown for the 49ers.
And it's all Tim
Junior
McDonald.
Bryant. Tim McDonald with the hit. Junior Bryant with the touchdown.
That's a great picture of why you keep going, of hustle. Why you never stop, even though it looks like the play is dead. Because McDonald got picked up, but he beat his man and then beat up on Kurt Warner.
So a sudden change in momentum as the Niners pick up some quick points on the Junior Bryant touchdown. The Tim McDonald sack and forced fumble. That'll bring Wade Ritchie on to attempt the extra point. And that is good. And brings us to our 2-minute warning with the score. St. Louis Rams 28, San Francisco 17.
Tim McDonald right here coming on the outside safety blitz. Notice that Haley is right there. And that's important because Haley dragged the attention here, and now McDonald can just work on Williams. Bad technique by Williams. Good hustle by McDonald, and good alertness by Bryant picking up the ball. This is one area where Tim McDonald has been good at, the blitzing. He's always been around the line. Even with Merton Hanks not here, he was expected to do less of that, but that turned out to be a huge play for him.
Horn takes the Ritchie kick from his end zone, hurdles one man, and is tackled by R.W. McQuarters at the 20-yard line, but they keep going after this whistle, and now you see it happening. They don't really care for each other. That's Troy Pelshak in the middle of that fracas. And Vermeil says, get over there.
Yeah, he was quite authoritative with to get over there, too.
Yeah. Robert Holcomb has some cramping going on. He's heading to the Rams locker room with 1:51 here left in the second quarter. Marshall Faulk already into the end zone, or into the locker room. So the Rams are down to Justin Watson. Justin Watson is in that backfield along with James Hodgins. And this is Watson. And Watson stumbles for 2 on first down.
And if Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator, if he's smart as I think he's going to run this ball and try to get out of here. this league. You don't have your back, you don't have Falk in there right now. You've been throwing the ball, but you don't want to rely on that, especially after what just happened.
So Justin Watson taking over at the tailback spot. Got some experience with the Berlin Thunder this past year in NFL Europe. Second down and 9. This will be Watson again. Up to the 26-yard line. Coming up, the Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will get you up to date with all the scores and highlights from around the NFL, plus the Fox Sports ticker with up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. As the 49ers use their first timeout with 1 minute and 3 left here in the first half. 3rd and 5 for the Rams. This 17-game win streak for the 49ers, and this is through half. The Rams have led at half just once, led at the half, and it's been all 49ers. But today, started out all Rams, but the Niners have kind of crept their way back into this thing.
But the Rams did get one huge break that I think helped turn this game for them so far, and that's the muff punt by Hakeem. That was just so classic, and I know the 49ers faithful, they were sitting back at home saying, yeah, this is it. That's the one. That's the one we always get. That's what the Rams always do. That's not our ball. And then after that, the thing went the other way.
Yeah, it did. Kurt Warner heating up and hitting Isaac Bruce for 3 touchdown passes in the first quarter. 3rd and 5. Warner with pressure gets it out to Prohl. Ricky Prohl has the first down. Darnell Walker had the coverage. Prohl's 4th catch of the season, led this team with 60 grabs last year. He's taken more of a reserve role, but made a big play.
Yeah, he has. Ricky Prohl's the guy you almost forget about when you look at the depth chart. When you look at the film, and then all of a sudden he comes out in a position like that and stings you for the first down.
The Rams will be content to let this clock wind down. And now they take a timeout, having some personnel problems as who's in the huddle. And the Rams now have just 1 timeout left. But I think they took that one not to try and get something going here with 22 seconds
avoid the
left.
disaster here.
Avoid the penalty and get the personnel situation right. And it is now 28-17. So the Rams have an 11-point lead. And when we talked to Tim McDonald, he said, hey, you know, we're going to come out, we're going to try and hit them in the mouth early, and we just want to keep it close because we think if in a close game, we've got that mental edge.
Right. But the guys that got hit in the mouth were the 49ers.
Yeah.
Okay, their defense got hit square in the jaw. Like I said, they went down to the canvas and had to get up 3 times, 4 times. It'll be interesting to see how the Rams defense plays in the second half, only because they're not used to going the distance, so to speak. Now they're going to go the distance. 28-17, assuming there's not another score here. The 49ers in this game have to keep playing, and the Rams got to keep playing.
Justin Watson keeps playing, picks up 6 yards. Ken Norton Jr., along with R.W. McWhorter.
Both teams happy in one way or another to take it in the way things are at the half. 49ers don't want any more damage, and the Rams don't want to blow anything.
And that wraps up the first half, where the score is the Rams 28, the 49ers 17. It started out as all Rams. Kurt Warner lit it up for 3 touchdown passes to Ike Bruce in the first quarter. And right now, stay tuned. The Visa halftime report coming up. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have all the scores and highlights from around the league. That's all coming up next, following a word from your local Fox station.
Halftime report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
All right, as we welcome you to the Visa halftime full house here in Los Angeles, as we get you caught up on the scores. Rams 28-17 over San Francisco, trying to snap a 17-game losing streak. Kurt Warner coming in, hottest quarterback in the NFL. 9 touchdown passes already. Well, why not get another one going? Isaac Bruce touchdown pass covering 13 yards, 7-0 Rams. Kurt Warner passed Isaac Bruce. He gets by Lance Schulters, the safety, who wouldn't make an interception
later on. Touchdown. It's 21-3. Rams. Bad call here. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. Tim McDonald comes in. He blitzes. Junior Bryant scoops it up. Touchdown. Dick Vermeil told our guys going off the field, we got a little too greedy.
Kurt Warner now, you're talking about it, kid. Everybody says, how can this guy throw 13 touchdown passes in his first 4 ball games? And I asked him the same thing. You've got no experience. He said, what are you talking about, no experience? Over the last 4 years, I've played in 60 football games in the NFL Europe and the Arena League. This guy simply has found a way to get it done, but those 49ers are not going away
Look
easily.
at this. The guy played in the Arena League, and the field is 27.5 yards wide, 50 yards long, 180-yard touch. He probably feels like he's out in a pasture somewhere.
Two things happen. Isaac Bruce, number one, gets healthy. Mark, the offensive coordinator, Dick Vermeil, as a show of confidence in him, delegates responsibility to him, and Trent Green was tearing it up before Kurt Warner was tearing it up. So they're doing something right up there offensively.
So Kurt Warner feels that he is playing on the equivalent of a what, Terry? Pasture.
You know, wide open spaces. It's like,
when the big bulls.
you're not following that. Tell me I'm the only one that understands what I was trying to say.
We're going to take you back to the pasture in St. Louis for the second half. San
Animal Farm.
Francisco and St. Louis. After this.
Welcome back to St. Louis, where the St. Louis Rams hold a 28-17 lead over the 49ers here at halftime, and our Pete Peterson caught up with Dick Vermeil going in at the half.
All right. Coach, first of all, a couple of injuries in your backfield. Robert Holcomb, Marshall Faulk already in the locker room. Any status on them?
Robert Holcomb just getting cramped. Marshall Faulk on the very first catch that he made on third down jammed his hip and his upper leg, and that is pretty stiff right now. He might be able to go, though.
Amazing first half for Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce, but a lot of football left to play.
A lot of football left to play. We gave him some momentum there when getting sacked in the end zone there, getting a little too greedy. You know?
What about the 12th man here tonight at the Dome?
They're doing a good job. We're going to need it in the second half.
All right, Coach, best of luck to you. 11-point lead for the Rams. Back upstairs to you, Ray.
Thanks, Pete, and we will return to St. Louis for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station. And welcome back to the Trans World Dome. Ray Bentley along with Ron Pitts here in St. Louis as the Rams up 28-17. And Pete Peterson caught up with Steve Mariucci coming out at halftime. Pete?
All right, Ray, thanks a lot. Steve, a lot of momentum for your team going in at half after that fumble recovery.
Well, we got back in the game 28-17 now. We've got to just simply stop the deep ball. We gave them too many easy ones, and they're very explosive, as you know. We've got to settle down and climb back in this thing.
A couple of injuries, offensive line, that seems to have disrupted things a little bit for you.
Yeah, Derek East hurt his knee a little bit. We moved Jeremy Newberry back out to tackle, and Phil Ostrowski, a young guy, in at guard, and then, of course, Marvin Washington on defense.
Thank you, Steve. Best of luck in the second half.
All right, thank you, Pete. And we start the second half. The Rams will receive Wade Ritchie kicking it off.
Nice kick.
This is Tony Horn from 9 yards deep, and he'll down it. And let's take a quick look at the first half stats.
Of course, the passing yards says it all, and Coach Mariucci talked about the fast start, and yes, they are explosive, but if there's two areas that maybe offer some hope for the 49ers, number one, the turnovers, and then two, some penalties, some sloppy ball late by the Rams, and the Rams are going to have to start attacking the middle of the field more against the 49ers. They had success late, but you're going to see more of that because the 49ers have to take the safeties to help the corners, and this is why. Look at the pass distribution. 8 completions out of 9 attempts to the wideouts, 5 of 6 to the running back. Those are the numbers you usually see for the West Coast offense.
So on first and 10, 4 wide receivers. Justin Watson is in the backfield, and he'll take the draw, and he'll get locked up by Tim McDonald at the line of scrimmage. The Rams' offensive leaders, Kurt Warner, you start with him, and that's just an incredible first half. 14 of 16, the 4 touchdown passes, and they really haven't gotten much done on the ground. Haven't had to, especially with Ike Bruce running around making catches.
Right, but that could be the thing that hurts them later on because sooner or later you have to be able to run the football, and the Rams haven't run the football good. In fact, that's one of the things that Dick Vermeil said we got to do a better job of. And they haven't, partly because they've had so much success passing the ball. But remember, Faulk is not in the game.
And neither is Holcomb. His backup. That'd be Justin Watson in the backfield. And this is the fullback, Hodgins. Hodgins with a catch and a first down over the middle. Winfred Tubbs gets him, but not until the Rams move the chains.
Another example of working the middle of the field. Just a little dump pass out in the middle of the intermediate area, working underneath by the backer. The 49ers defense has to spread because they've been beat up so much on the perimeter. It makes it harder to cover in the middle, and it also makes it harder to stop the run.
James Hodgins stepping in, a rookie free agent out of San Jose State. Another one out of San Jose State in the backfield with actually San Diego State is Justin Watson. Watson, he's hit by a blitzing Tim McDonald again. And Tim McDonald with 2 plays early in the second half.
I asked Timmy last night, where do you like to blitz against this team? What looks good? He says, right up the gut. I want to put pressure right in Warner's face. Here he comes. He's going to hide, and that's the trick, to not let him know you're coming. See, he takes off running just about at the time of the snap. And they can't even get over a block. Good awareness and a good play by Tim McDonald.
With the loss, brings up second down and 14 for Kurt Warner and the St. Louis Rams. He dominated the first quarter. This is Watson. Watson picks up 5. Ken Norton Jr. with the tackle. It'll be third down and 7 now.
Tim McDonald's back there. A second and long situation. He's got to be back there to help the corners for a pass situation.
St. Louis 3 of 4 on third down conversions in the first half. Third and 7.
49ers doing a lot of talking back here, and that's always a problem. Ho, ho, ho!
Warner may have run out of time. There's a flag down. Could be delay of game against the Rams.
False start. 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Yeah, they also had Fred Miller moving on the play. That's the penalty.
See, the 49ers secondary huddled up. I mean, they got their own little mini huddle going on back there, away from the other huddle. They're trying to get everybody on the same page. Something's not right. Stop.
Third down and 12. 4 wide receivers in the mix as Warner.
They don't have this guy covered down at all.
Shotgun. Warner over the middle, wide open. The first down, a gain of 18.
Whatever play Warner makes, it starts with the protection. Let's see how they block it. You got Bryant Young here. Had a little game on, a loop around the outside. You saw that in the pregame show. Bryant Young can't quite get there. You see the way his feet not there? And look at this. I pointed this out before the snap. Don't have everybody covered up. There's some confusion back there in the secondary, and Tim McDonald, with the departure of Merton Hanks, has had to take on a lot more responsibility than he should have.
Throwback screen attempted for Roland Williams. Williams dropped it. And now a late flag comes in from the back judge. That's offensive pass interference on St. Louis. Having things explained to him.
Pass interference, 80, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat it out.
Isaac Bruce, the second time today that he has been flagged for offensive pass interference. Let's go down now to Pete Peterson with an update on the Rams running back situation. Pete?
Well, Ray, so far the news is not good. Robert Holcomb still in the locker room. He's getting IV, suffering from cramps in that right calf. And as far as Marshall Faulk is concerned, he's suffering muscle spasms in that injured hip. So his return is questionable at this point.
Thanks, Pete. And that means that Justin Watson will take over the duties in the backfield. And it's first down and 20 to go now after the penalty to Isaac Bruce. And this will be Watson. Watson tries the left side, cuts back, pulls his way up to the 47-yard line before Mark McMillan can wrap him up.
The front four, the front seven is getting handled. I think they've been scored so much on the outside that that's a classic example of a defense that's playing from their heels forward. That time, that was just man-to-man blocking. A helmet on a helmet. No white shirt got away from a blue shirt. Brian Young is trying to be a warrior. I still think Brian Young is out in the field too much. You saw in that loop, trying to come around that stunt to get to the quarterback. Last year, he would have blew Kurt Warner up. This year, he couldn't quite get there.
Watson again, his 8th carry of the day. He bowls his way for 5 more. 8 carries, 35 yards for Justin Watson as Lee Woodall made the tackle.
Through to Daria, the center, Adam Timmerman here. Taking care of Young right there. And even though they know he's not 100%, do you think that keeps them from double teaming him?
They still double team.
You darn right, you better double team him.
Brings up a 3rd down and 6 now for St. Louis. They need to get to the 41-yard line of San Francisco, and this is their first drive here in the second half. Blitz coming, Warner flushed out, has time, hangs in, and now he'll be sacked.
They got a
Tim
flag
McDonald coming in along with Ken Norton, and there is a flag down in the defensive backfield. Defensive holding against the Niners. That'll be a first down for the Rams.
1 step forward, 2 steps back for the 49er defense. As soon as they make a play, something bad happens and pushes them right back.
Holding 38 defense. The 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
3rd penalty of the day on Darnell Walker.
And the man, Darnell Walker.
He tripped, though.
You know, he tripped, and he put his hands on the receiver to hold his balance.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Penalty nonetheless. 1st and 10. Go the Rams from the 42. And the ball's batted up. It's a jump ball, but it's incomplete as Junior Bryant hit Kurt Warner on the release.
They were going downtown. I'm not talking window shopping. He had picked out McMillan on the other side and was going after him.
He had Torrey Holt over there, and he was looking for the home run. Boy, and Warner's fortunate. You can hurt your arm doing that.
You've seen a lot of rotator cuff injuries there. But as long as those corners are going to stay off, here's what they're shooting at. When you play off, you give the receiver a lot of options. Now, that was good coverage that time by McMillan. He probably should have threw it to the other side.
2nd and 10. Watson tries to bounce outside, and he's tripped up. Coming up, Mark McMillan, gain of 1. And McMillan
came up and sliced him.
Yeah, he's a little guy out there, though. I mean, probably the smallest man on the football field at 5'7", 154 pounds. You said he's too small to even be out there.
He put the 5'7" yak move on him. But the thing about guys like this is that it's not like they just got small last week. They've been small all their lives. So they know what they can and can't do. They know when they're in mismatches.
McMillan had 8 interceptions, 3 of them returned for touchdowns in '97 when he played with Kansas City. 3rd down and 8. See the Rams hitting 80% on 3rd down. Over the middle, this is Holt. Holt tries to spin out of it, but he'll be short of the first down by a couple of yards. Picking up a 4th down.
Isaac Bruce just got leveled. We keep talking about bump and run. Here's what bump and run can do for you. Watch what happens to Bruce. You just took away the whole play right there. Darnell Walker goes out of the game. Just a little chew and comes back, and that's what he needs to play more. That's his old aggressive style right there.
Well, rather than attempt a 52-yard field goal with Jeff Wilkins, Dick Vermeil decides to bring out Rick Tootin for the punt. His first punt of the day, and Tootin averaging 43.2 yards a punt.
He might pull a hamstring. It's cold.
Yeah, he's got to be a little tight there, and he just pooches this one up, angling towards the middle, and a backspin on it. And the Rams will down it inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. They milk it. So San Francisco will start out backed up with their first drive here in the second half. St. Louis 28, San Francisco 17.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dodge. Do not follow, do not conform. Be different.
And welcome back to the Trans World Dome here in St. Louis. 49ers initial drive here of the second half, and they have not been getting it done in the third quarter. 0-38 is the scoreboard on the 49ers in the third this season. Beasley catches this one from Garcia, rushed out of bounds at the 16-yard line by Mike Jones.
You see the pressure on that play. They got the ball out, and that's what you practice. Garcia had a blue shirt in every part of the field in his face. Watch the pressure. Marco Farr, Kevin Carter, they run a little game there.
Second down and 1. They run the trap to Garner. Garner stumbles behind the line. He'll lose a yard.
This is how you become the fourth-rated defense in the NFL. You have an offense that runs up and down the field, so when they have to punt, they're usually punting from about their 50 in, hitting the other team in their end zone or in their area, their territory, and now you're playing with the short stick.
And it's always easier to play defense when that other team's backed up. Their options are limited, and you can just get after them. You see Peter Johnson, the defensive coordinator, with the loss. It is third down and 2 for the 49ers. They go to 4 wide receivers. Garcia gets it out quick. A one-handed catch from Terrell Owens. And he'll get the first down.
He got that first down, and you know one reason why is good scheme and a good block there by the tight end. They put the tight end on Kevin Carter's side right here. That's a back who's going to come up and take a nice shot. Right here. Boom.
That's Beasley.
Beasley comes up and chip. He did more than chip. He cut it. But it was important to get Carter's hands down and get him on the ground. So now Garcia has a clear line of sight. A clear throwing lane to throw.
So it's first and 10 as Charlie Garner flanks out to the right side. Topher, Owens in motion. Garcia throws it out to Owens, and he's tackled and hit immediately by the cornerback, Dexter McCleon. Another good play from McCleon, who's been pretty solid today.
McCleon's been solid. He's coming, and he's been where he's had to be. And that's one thing you have to know as a defender, especially as a corner in this business. You got to know what you can take away, what you can't take away. And that play, those are the kind of plays guys make when they study film with. You know the play is coming or think the play is coming before it happens.
Second and 7. Garcia hands it to Garner. Garner takes it outside. Wow. Garner still in bounds up past the 50 with a shake move till Todd Light forces him out of bounds, but a huge run from Charlie Garner. But Chris Dahlman, the center, is down back at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, and there's a lot of jaw-jacking going on out there. And they might be right because Light did take him down late. Did you see the explosion by Charlie Garner? That's why Charlie Garner is here. Terrell Owens giving his viewpoint on the situation. They think the little hole there, they don't catch it on Collins. But watch Garner.
Great block from Wright.
Boom. That's a great move. He's got that great start-stop acceleration. And this is what the 49ers are upset about. That should have been a penalty. He takes them down well out of bounds.
Give Charlie Garner 33 yards on the play. First and 10, the 49ers at the Rams 46.
Took some coaches out. He did everything.
Ben Lynch is in at center for Dahlman. Beasley tries the middle and gets nowhere. Ben Lynch played some NFL Europe ball. First-year man out of California. And that is, I tell you, the Niners are going deep to that bench on that offensive line.
They are. Of course, we wish all the best to offensive line coach Bob McKittrick with his struggle with cancer. They still need him here to do the job he's doing, and that's to constantly mix and match players into this offensive line. And they got an injury to Dees, who's the one guy they need to go everywhere, and so now they got to pull another rabbit out of the bag.
Second and 9, and they go a little early. DeMarco Farr pointing two fingers out. And, Ron, you mentioned Bob McKittrick, who has bile duct cancer, and he's just been a rallying point for this 49ers team. This is his first road trip of the year, and he's just, the courage he's displayed throughout this has just been remarkable.
Yeah, it has, and unfortunately, I know firsthand about that situation, having lost my father to cancer. It's something that you don't know what it means to fight and be in a fight until you've been in that situation, and Coach McKittrick has said that.
2nd and 14. After the penalty, Garcia throws the quick route. It's hooked up to J.J. Stokes. Stokes up to the 31 before he's brought down by Keith Lyle. A gain of 20 on the play.
Jeff Garcia has never gotten away from the system. This is the old slant route. Working in on McLean. He's got to beat him inside. The ball's got to come now. And there it is. Touch late, but it's there. And then there's the yak, the yards after the catch. That is what you call using the 49er system. Keep doing what it's designed to do. Don't go out on your own and freelance and free jet. Run the stuff that's called.
That was the second grab of the day for Stokes. Clark, the tight end, switches sides, and they'll run to his side with Garner. Garner finds a seam again. He'll pick up 9 on first down. Todd Collins makes the tackle.
A lot of people thought that Charlie Garner ran himself out up there in Philadelphia behind Ricky Waters and maybe had some of his best years, but he still has some stuff in him. And I'm amazed at his quickness and acceleration. He's got 5 years in the league. That's about the time that backs start to get on that downhill hit. They're thinking that punishment and all the pounding. But Garner is just so quick.
And he's heating up right now. He has 44 yards on 10 carries, but 39 yards in his last 2 totes on this drive. Garcia, play action, looking for the end zone for Jerry Rice. Incomplete. McLeon with good coverage. And Jenkins over from the safety as well.
Dexter McLeon did the right thing. He stayed on top of Jerry Rice. Watch him here. He's going to look through to the quarterback, and you got to be careful with that sometimes, but he gets his eyes back on Jerry. But he's always on an upfield shoulder, so Jerry can't really work to the outside corner, and he knows he's got help inside. That's the difference. When you got help inside, that makes everything better, especially on a guy like Jerry Rice.
Niners trying to keep this drive alive. 3rd down and 2. Lawrence Phillips in the backfield. Haven't seen him since he went out early in the game. And Phillips hit in the backfield by Farr and Carter. Loss of 2. DeMarco Farr is having a field day on that revamped interior of the Niners offensive line.
You know, I'm sure that Charlie Gardner is tired, but if I'm going to go for this, I'm going to go with Charlie Gardner on this play. I'm not going to run Lawrence Phillips. Charlie Gardner has ripped off some great runs, taking the ball down the field for you, and then on this important conversion, you don't give him the ball. I don't understand that.
Wade Ritchie to attempt a 43-yarder. He was good earlier from 42. And he sneaks it inside the right upright, and Ritchie now 5 of 5 on the year for field goals, makes it 28 St. Louis, 20 San Francisco. St. Louis Rams defense being tested, perhaps the sternest test of the year. You saw the average coming in, leading the NFL. They've given up 20 already today. There's a minute 42 left in the 3rd quarter. And the Niners have pulled to within 8 points. Wade Ritchie taking deep to Tony Horn. Horn averaging 34 yards on his returns today. Takes it from the 4. And Horn's got a huge hole. He's going out the door. It's a foot race to the end zone. And Horn will score. 96 yards.
I said earlier, 2 things you better pack when you go on the road. Defense, and the 49ers have had trouble there, and in special teams, and here's the trouble. Tony Horn just blows open on the right side. Perfect blocking. He doesn't get touched until he's at the 10-yard line.
Mark McMillan couldn't run him down. Officially a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for Tony Horn, the second of his career. Wilkins adds the extra point, and just when you thought you had a close one, the Rams bring it out the other end. With Tony Horn, they're up now 35-20.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By Ameritrade, believe in yourself. And by Nextel, how business gets done.
The beautiful Keener Plaza in St. Louis as the Rams have lit it up again. Tony Horn takes that kickoff return back 97 yards, and now it is a 15-point lead for St. Louis. And they'll kick away Wilkins. Hitting this one to Lawrence Phillips, and Phillips 6 yards deep in the end zone, won't take it out. And the fans are going crazy. They're Rams rolling here late in the third quarter.
Sometimes a good returner sets up his return. Watch Horn. He's going to set up the 49ers one way and then come back the other way. That way he gets the white shirts to move. Frees it right there. He's got what he wants. A wedge here. He's got two guys that haven't even hit anybody yet, and there's the kicker. That's how you get the thing done, and that's the numbers return, what Frank Gant, the special teams coach, told me we're going to go with every week. Right here, McMillan's got to find a way to make a tackle. And there's Frank Gant, the world-renowned special teams coach. He was coaching before we came in the league, and he'll be coaching when our grandkids get out of the league.
On 1st and 10, Garcia on the bootleg. Completes it to Jerry Rice. Rice's second grab of the day. Todd Light lit up Jerry Rice at the end of this. That's a scary feeling.
Yeah, it is. And he kind of let him down early, or let him down easy. Jerry Rice, for all these years, still going up and making the plays, making the catches. He's still a guy that you fear. He's not what he used to be, but if you're putting on your jock and lining up against him, your mouth will be dry. Trust me.
1st and 10, Garner. Cuts back to no avail. And Tony Horn is kickoff return for the touchdown, the first kickoff return for a touchdown in the NFL this season.
And the Rams have a knack right now for setting things up with their special teams. Last couple of weeks, special teams have come through. Hakeem, out the team last week. And it always happens when the game is in flux of some sort. And they do what's really good. They have not had a penalty in the special teams phase yet. That's amazing.
Garcia gets the snap off before the end of the quarter. There is a flag as he just overthrows Greg Clark down the middle.
I thought DeMarco Farr might have gone a little early unless he was pulled. Clark's got to catch the ball.
Garcia trying to work the middle of the field again, and it should have been caught by Clark. Illegal motion against the 49ers.
He was pulled.
Jeff Garcia on the day, 15 of 22 for 177 yards. No interceptions, but also no touchdown passes.
Illegal chip on the offense. All 11 players did not accept. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, second down.
And that makes it the end of the third quarter with our score. The Rams 35, 49ers 20. And yes, thank you. That is the end of the third. Rams 25, 49ers 35, 49ers 20. As Tony Horn brings it back 97 yards to the house to give St. Louis a 15-point lead. St. Louis Louis has scored in each and every corner. San Francisco finally scores in the third quarter this year with that three-pointer, but it is now 35-20. The Rams trying to end a jinx. They have lost to the 49ers 17 consecutive times. 3rd and 9. There's a flag down. False start against the 49ers. It'll back them up, but I just mentioned that streak, Ron, and that's a serious mojo right there.
That is the mojo, and we know a little bit about this one. Maybe not from a playing standpoint, but that animosity is still there.
Well, I know when we came to Buffalo, you came in, 85, and I came in 86, and people were still talking about Miami and the jinx, and it was 5, 6 years later, and it was still a big topic of conversation.
Because the Rams, a long time ago, used to have their way with the 49ers. When Montana and Bill Walsh came, they had their way with the Rams, and that's when the hostility built up, when the 49ers kept pounding.
3rd and long. Garcia with pressure, throws it out, incomplete, but there's a flag down. Could be Todd Light holding on Terrell Owens. Owens trying to work the middle of the field. It is against the Rams.
49ers get away with one there.
Illegal contact, 41 on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, 1st down.
And then the 49ers get by with one there because the pressure was in. Garcia's facing it. Big for Meal. Todd Light playing the inside slot. That's where he'll go in a long-distance situation. He's clean there. He goes back on him that second time. You can't go back on the receiver, initiate contact after the first 5 yards. That's a good call.
So it gives Garcia a 1st down. He tries to force it into Clark over the middle, but it was broken up by Todd Collins.
So Marco Farr, Kevin Carter, these guys are just destroying the offensive line. And they are coming off the ball. Watch here. Watch Farr 75. Here's Carter up here. Just from the get-go, even though they've got a quick throw there, they're just in Garcia's face all the time. And there's that little jump pass. I don't know if Garcia's taking enough of a drop back. He looks like he's shortening up his drop back.
A little panicky in there right now. 2nd down and 10. Lawrence Phillips stumbles on the draw. He'll get maybe 4 yards. And right now, let's go to the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles. Here's JB.
Ray and Ron, take a look at Chicago with the cluster formation. Knowing they've got one-on-one on the opposite side. Shane Matthews to Marcus Robinson. Big Jerron with offensive creativity and stifling the Bears to make that 21-15 Bears over Minnesota. Ray and Ron.
There's a surprise.
JB talked about that cluster formation. The Rams have used some of that today, and I think that's added to the 49ers' problem in terms of coverage.
3rd and 7. Garcia with 3 wide receivers in the mix. Here comes the blitz. Throws the slant. He's got Owens. Owens has the 1st down. Beat Dexter McCleon on the inside move.
You are never going to cover that pattern playing it from off. You got to be up in the receiver's face. And McCleon right there, see, he backs off, and that gives the room, the window for that throw. If he stays up there, not only can he make contact, but he can throw off the rhythm and force Garcia to reload.
6th grab of the day for Owens, leading receiver catch-wise in the ballgame, and Lawrence Phillips moves out to the right side. Reset on 1st and 10. Garcia with time this time. Looks for his tight end, but it's picked off by Mike Jones. And Jones returns it up to the 45. What a interception by Jones. Mike Jones with the huge play, the interception, and the Rams keep that 15-point lead, and now they have the football.
You're going to see a great job by Mike Jones working on Brett Clark here. Man-to-man coverage. He's got to carry him up the seam here. Watch the catch. That's when we talk about the Rams understanding this defense and relating back to some of Butch Carson's old stuff. Linebackers heavy in coverage, that time making a big play.
Marshall falls back into the game, gets stopped for a loss of 1 by Winfred Chubb.
Mike Jones kind of bounced around the league a little bit now. Some people have told him he wasn't big enough, wasn't fast enough, didn't have a good feel inside, moved outside. I think it all shakes down to can you make a play when they need it.
He's another player that played in the NFL Europe, actually back when it was the World League, the World Bowl champion with Sacramento back in 1992. 2nd and 10. Isaac Bruce in motion. Warner dumps it out to Marshall Faulk. Faulk can't escape Kenny Norton. Norton gets him after a gain of 4.
You want to know another reason this offense is so good. Basically, this is nothing more than the Washington Redskin offense. If Mark's there, the offensive coordinator, and you say, oh, well, big deal. They haven't done much. You're right. But it's also Norv Turner's offense that he had going on in Dallas, which relates all the way back, if you will, to Don Coryell. The deep down the field emphasis, the vertical game, 3 wide receivers, a 4th receiver in the running back that would be represented by a guy like Marshall Faulk. It's the same offense.
Warner over the middle of his tight end Robinson. Robinson had a touchdown catch earlier, catches this one for a first down. And you mentioned that offense with Don Coryell, Ernie Zampese, and they described this offense as one that you rely on timing, matchup, shifts to create those matchups, and then taking your shots downfield.
Right. It's got everything that you see all the other offenses. You know, it's got some of the West Coast in it. It's got a little of the run and shoot in it. It's got everything in it. But the most important thing, it's got that guy right there, the quarterback, because he can pull the trigger.
Warner only 3 incompletions all day, going for Isaac Bruce. Bruce pulls away. He's got it. Touchdown. His 4th of the day.
And he just pulled the trigger right at the head of the 49ers, and that might be the last bullet. Walker finally came up in the bump and run, but I don't think he knew. First of all, he didn't get a jump, a bump. Then he didn't find the ball.
Yeah, he didn't see the ball.
He didn't see the ball till late. And you have those kind of days. And if you're Isaac Bruce, this is why you go to the sidelines and you cry in the first quarter.
42-yard touchdown reception. The 4th time Warner has hit Bruce into the end zone today. Wilkins will have to ice his leg after this one, attempt another extra point, and it's good. And it is now the Rams pulling away 42-20 with 11:11 left here in St. Louis.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Infiniti, makers of the all-new I-30 Performance Luxury Sedan. It's all the best thinking. By the U.S. Army, be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be. By 1010-220, dial it and talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents. And by IBM, are you ready for e-business?
Isaac Bruce, 5 catches on the day. 4 of them for touchdown. Comes just the 5th Ram in the history of the franchise to score 4 touchdowns in a game. Has opened this thing up as Wilkins kicks it to McQuarters. McQuarters at the 9. He works his way up past the 30 to the 31 before he's brought down by Mike Morton. As I said, Bruce becoming the 5th Ram to score 4 touchdowns in a ball game. Oz Hakeem did it last week. It's Ike Bruce's week to shine.
You know, last week I didn't think you'd see it, but somebody beat it.
Well, a couple of the Warner brothers have lit it up in the last 2 weeks. Hakeem with 4 touchdowns last week against Cincinnati. Isaac Bruce takes his turn. He's got 4 touchdowns today.
You didn't believe in him before. After seeing what we've seen so far, you have to believe in him now.
You got to believe in Kurt Warner. 5 touchdown passes on the day. it underneath to J.J. Stokes, and Stokes gets up to the 40, a gain of 7. And Kurt Warner now has 14 touchdowns on the year against just 3 interceptions.
I'll say this now, and I don't think I'm premature in doing it. Barring injury or a complete mental collapse on his part, Kurt Warner goes to the Pro Bowl.
You got my vote. My vote doesn't count, but an amazing performance, an amazing start. 4 games into his career, he is unbelievable as Garcia hits Charlie Garner for a first down.
But you have to, there's more to it than that. You got to go back and you got to look where he's been. Here's a guy that's been in the Arena Bowl, in the Arena League. He's played in NFL Europe, wanted to go over there, wanted the experience, and he thinks this year he's going to come into this year as another backup, and all of a sudden, bam, the guy that comes over here with Mike Markey up as the coordinator, Trent Green, goes out with an injury, he becomes the guy, and everybody's nervous. Nobody knows what to expect.
On 1st and 10, Jerry Rice makes his 3rd grab of the day as Garcia trying to work the Niners down the field and back into this game. But, you know, we talked about Kurt Warner, and all he's done is throw touchdown passes everywhere he's been.
Right, and it goes back to the Arena League, because there you have the short field. He said, I got in that mentality that every time I touched the ball, I had to score. We had to throw, we had to put in the end zone. You don't really get a second chance there. So because of that, I've developed that mentality to throw the ball, throw, and I have the confidence that stemmed off of that.
Garner picks up 1, bringing up a 3rd and 3, and we showed you a picture of Steve Young on the 49ers sideline. And you know, what's going to happen with the 49er franchise now? I mean, Young's going to see a doctor, his specialist again tomorrow. He missed an appointment on Friday, and there are some questions on whether or not he'll come back.
Tomorrow is birthday number 38. I don't know how much that means in all of this, but it doesn't mean you're getting any younger.
On 3rd, Garcia scrambles as there's a flag down. Throws it down the field, complete to J.J. Stokes. The play stands, it's a first down, but we have one official saying it was a juggle. Ken Norton.
He's trying to tell him what he saw.
Hey, you saw it.
Well, you know, those UCLA guys that are always lobbying for stuff.
So it's an incomplete pass, and we still have to determine what the penalty is.
I know, because I'm one.
Yes, you do.
Offside. 93 defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So Kevin Carter lines up offside. That'll give the Niners that first down and keep this drive alive.
I think the 49ers, that decision to keep Steve Young out of this game was made a long time ago. And when this first happened, they knew he wasn't going to play. And you figure, okay, there's nobody else in this division doing anything except the guys are playing now. You go there, you try to win with your backup, you don't win, you know what? You're going to see him again. It's a long year. It's just getting started.
Yeah, and I don't know if San Francisco believed the Rams were for real.
I can tell you,
they believe
for sure
it now.
they didn't.
Clark drops this one. Todd Light with the play.
I was talking to a couple people down on the field from the 49er organization, and I can promise you, they didn't believe what happened today was going to happen. And how could you? You have to come in here with that mentality of same old Rams to make them prove it to you. And that's one of the things that Tim McDonald talked about. Sure, they knew they were better. They saw all that. They saw the highlights, the bombs, the great passing, the smoke out of the tunnel. But they've seen that before. And they've come and stopped.
Garner up to the 36-yard line. And, you know, you're right. I don't think that, you know, and everyone in the league kind of had that question about how good are the Rams, because the combined record of the opponents, 2-10 coming in. Sure, they had lit things up, but they really hadn't been tested. And they were tested today as San Francisco came back to within 8 points, and then they just turned it around, and the Rams have dominated this game in the beginning, and then now later here in the third. And Bill Walsh can't even watch.
He doesn't want to watch.
Third and 3. Garcia throws the screen to Lawrence Phillips. And Phillips gets a first down to keep the this drive alive, but the clock is winding down. 22-point difference with 7:40 left in the game.
And I don't think that Jeff Garcia has played that bad a game. There's no way you're going to convince me of that. Because every time the guy has gotten the ball, he's had to go 80 yards. He's never gotten it on the short side going in. That is the worst position to put a guy who's trying to get the system, trying to just feel his way in the first place.
Garcia 20 of 31 on the day for 212 yards. One interception. This one won't count as Garcia pays the price anyway. In fact, they're going to throw a flag on Jay Williams. DeMarco Farr in there as well. Little rough stuff. Not too happy with the defense going on right now.
False start, number 80 on the offense. By rule, that penalty will be declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 96, helmet-to-helmet contact. That penalty be accepted. First down.
Jay Williams. The pressure's been in Garcia's face all day. Williams is going to come around the right side.
Helmet-to-helmet contact. Can't hit those guys anymore. I don't know what else you could have done. So a break for the Niners. Gives them first down and 10 from the 16 of the St. Louis Rams. Garcia trying to make something happen. Throws into the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Jerry Rice. Rice well covered by Taji Allen.
Jerry Rice is in tight right here. That's a nasty split, they call it. A nasty tight split. He sees Garcia in trouble. Good job by Allen of staying with future Hall of Famer. What did they say about lining up? Actually, Darnell Walker said this about lining up against big marquee guys like Jerry Rice. He said if you think about who you're lining up against, you'll lose it. You won't be able to breathe. Your mouth will get dry. You'll lock up. You can't think. You just got to play.
Second and 10. Garcia hits Rice over the middle. Rice hit immediately.
That's another thing you're starting to see from this Rams team is that suddenly now everything that the 49ers or everything that the Rams coaching staff has done is okay. They're not working too hard in practice anymore. Training camps aren't stiff. Vermeil isn't killing them. Everything is okay. All that young talent that was supposed to be here 2-3 years ago, now it's here. I'm going to say winning is a huge deodorant.
It's smelling good in St. Louis. 3rd and 6. Pump fake. Garcia looks over the middle. Intercepted by Trey Bly, the rookie. Looking for Stokes. Bly steps in front. His first career interception.
That's another bad throw by Jeff Garcia. He got bit on the throw before by the linebacker, and he gets bit again. Not quite the same as playing in the CFL. Garcia serves one up here. Watch the route. Coming in looking for Terrell Owens. But Ray Bly is going to be right there, and this is just a bad throw. He's trying to get cute and look at the pump fake on one side and come back across, but he can't do it, especially in this end of the field. You've got to be very careful where you're making those throws.
Second interception of the day for Garcia. We're on the fullback. This is Holcomb. Holcomb finds all kinds of room up to the 29-yard line. Tim McDonald runs him down after a gain of 23. But hey, tonight you're going to want to catch this. It's the pivotal Game 4 of the American League Division Series. The Boston Red Sox try to keep their postseason hopes alive and force a decisive Game 5 as they battle the Indians. Coverage begins tonight live at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. And there is your starting pitcher matchup in this one. And baseball, playoff baseball, is really exciting stuff.
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially
You get them going, and it's all or nothing.
as long as my Yankees are doing it. That's all I
I
can.
knew we'd get around to that. On 1st and 10, Falk trapped in the backfield. Gabe Wilkins makes his first play of the day, and then
Adam Timmerman mixing
Martin
it up.
go after Timmerman.
Timmerman is an important guy for this team. And the reason why is Timmerman, not only is he a vet, but he's been in the big show. He's been in Green Bay. He's been in the Super Bowl. He's been a part of the winning field. And that's what Dick Vermeil said. I wanted to get some of those guys here that have been in situations like that. Todd Collins up in New England, been in that situation. And Adam Timmerman knows the 49ers well. He's the kind of guy you want to come into big games like that with. You want to surround yourself with this kind of people.
It solidified that Rams offensive line as Falk keeps it on the ground and runs into Winston Tubbs. But the last time the 49ers lost to the St. Louis Rams was 1990, November 25th. Happens to be my birthday there at Candlestick Park.
All right, I remember
had to throw that in. That was the last time the Rams actually beat the 49ers, and they did it with 6 turnovers, 3 interceptions by Joe Montana, Cleveland Gary, holding in the end zone, and Chuck Knox very happy. And they're happy again some 9 years later. The Rams have a 42-20 lead here with just 4 minutes left in the ball game.
It's key to the franchise's development, talking about the 49ers for the rest of the year, as to what happens with Steve Young. Steve Young has to get back on the field.
Rams take a timeout. They lead 42-20. It's been a rough day for the 49ers. That's Marvin Washington. Hurt his knee in the first half. Coming back out to watch this one from crutches, and you can see the look on Steve Mariucci's face. A little shell shock. What's happened to his 49ers here today? The Rams explode for 42 points. 3rd and 14. They run the draw to Marshall Falk. It's up near the 30-yard line, and the Rams will have to bring out the punt unit. So where does San Francisco go from here? What do they do about this one?
Well, first of all, they got to worry about next week, and they got Carolina at home, and that's George Seifert coming back. Okay, so you know he'll be fired up. The team will be fired up. But you just have to keep playing. And then after that, they got to go to Minnesota. So next week is as crucial of a game for them to get as any, regardless of how Minnesota, as we've been checking in on the updates, regardless of how they're playing. You got to get the one next week. You have to reestablish yourself in the mix.
Rick Tootin, a line drive punt, sails out of bounds. Just the second punt of the day from Tootin, and there was some stuff going on, and then drew a flag as the rookie Cody is involved with Zach Bronson and McMillan. Well, the last time the St. Louis Rams beat the 49ers was 1990, and it was a little bit of a different world that we lived in. President Bush considering military action after Iraq invaded Kuwait in August of 1990. The Dow Jones, you wish you could have got in on that, don't you?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
You could have made a lot of money there. The top movies, Pretty Woman, Ghost, and Dances with Wolves. That was Kevin Costner's last big hit, wasn't it? And then The Simpsons debuted on Fox way back when. And finally, you hear the music right now, I'm Your Baby Tonight, little Whitney Houston.
Boy, please don't sing it to me.
I ain't gonna. Don't worry about
not
that.
like that. I can't get any groove off
Let me tell you, I'm not your baby tonight.
I hope not. He's not singing like that. Oh, my goodness. I'll stay home and read a good book.
There's the Rams baby today, Isaac Bruce. 4 touchdowns.
Did you ask me about the 49ers schedule? Official talking, so I'll be quiet.
Penalty decline, so the Niners take over where the ball went out. But there is the upcoming schedule for the 49ers.
We just talked about that when George Seifert coming back into town. Get to, and then get to here, to that bye, and take a big deep breath. Regardless of what happens in these two, I got a feeling they're going to need this bye to take a big deep breath anyway, and possibly to get number 8 back healthy.
Number 8? Steve Young will visit with doctors tomorrow to determine his status. He suffered 4 concussions in the last 3 years. That's why he's on the sideline. And this is J.J. Stokes crossing midfield. London Fletcher catches him from behind.
Steve Mariucci told us last night that Steve Young doesn't lobby quite as hard as he used to get back in the game after injury.
Right.
And one reason for that, he says he's in love.
He's in love. Well, it's
Funny how that happens.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. And of course, we didn't go any further than that.
No, I didn't say anything. And this will be intercepted. And run out of bounds. And that is Haji Allen. 3rd interception of the day off of Garcia. Haji Allen gets his act into the mix.
Yes, Haji Allen has had some good coverages throughout the day. Locked up on Jerry Rice there in the end zone a couple series ago.
First career interception for Haji Allen, 3rd-year man out of Texas.
And this is the time, if you're the 49ers, where you kind of want the bus driver to get the bus started and pull it up to the back of the dome and let's get out of here.
Load up.
Right. Warm it up, Charlie. Make sure the sandwiches are ready and the drinks are there. And
yeah, they love it here in St. Louis. The Rams start out at the 17-yard line of the 49ers. Justin Watson takes the call. And time permitting, we'll take this audience to the conclusion of the Dallas-Philly game. Dallas ahead by 4 in that, 10-6 right now. See Jeff Garcia head down. 3 interceptions. Didn't throw an interception
Too late
at all.
Yeah, he
in
threw
the opener last week, in his opener, I should say. And Kurt Warner comes out of the game to a huge round of applause. Paul Justin will check in. And we'll take a break. It is our 2-minute warning. St. Louis 42, San Francisco 20.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite. Taste of true Pilsner.
This is the rookie Hodgins with his first carry. Undefeated in 1999. There are just 3 teams remaining that way. New England right now trails Kansas City 16-14. St. Louis, they're going to go to 4-0 with a 22-point bowl here. And then Dallas up 10-6 over Philadelphia. And time permitting, we'll take you to the conclusion of that Dallas-Philly ball game.
like I thought that Warner will go to the Pro Bowl. I also think that if the Rams can get to 5-0, then they're going to be in the playoffs. It's kind of like Tampa Bay did a few years back. They jumped out, and even though they blew it in midseason and went on like a 4 or 5 game losing streak, that start was still good enough to get them to the playoffs. And especially the way the NFC West division is, right now it's a 2-team race.
Well, St. Louis takes the timeout. Kurt Warner has set a record with pass percentage completion. 87% of his passes complete today. Also tied a club record with the 5 touchdown passes. 4 of them going to Ike Bruce. That's 2. That'll be 3 right there. He also hit his tight end, Jeff Robinson. And then the 5th one, the last one, the nail in the coffin, Isaac Bruce, a 42-yarder beating Darnell Walker.
Every team that he's caught has had some kind of trouble in the secondary. You can't ignore that fact. But here's a guy that's been through some adversity also. Talk about bouncing around in Arena League and in the NFL Europe League. He tried out with the Bears, didn't make it. Tried out with Green Bay, didn't make it. At one point was working in a grocery store. And of course, the problems with their little son, Zach, now 10 years old, who's blind as a result of a head injury as an infant. And he didn't know what it's like to go through adversity.
Justin Watson, just shy of the touchdown. He's trying to get on the act.
University right there. 49ers having a rough day.
Ken Norton Jr. staying down. And today's game is being produced by Pete Macheska, directed by Peter Bleckner. The associate director is Barry Landis. The broadcast associate is Eric Billigmeyer. The technical producer, Dan Rotante. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The associate director was Jennifer Love. The senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorn and David Hill.
And you know what this is right here? You see all the Rams on the sidelines. You see Isaac Bruce standing up, Kurt Warner. They want to see this touchdown because to them, this is the payback for all those years of the same old Rams. They remember in '95 when Ken Norton was hitting the bag on it. They remember the comments made by Dana Stubblefield after the game about what they were and what they weren't.
The crowd wants more blood, but Vermeil
Not going for it.
not going to pour it on.
That's coming from Dick Vermeil.
You bet.
He knows that he's got to go to San Francisco. He also knows this. This is very early in the season. It's a long season. Not only do you got to stay healthy, as he talked to Jim Hanifin and Mike White, not only do you got to stay healthy, a lot of stuff can still happen. You want to take your win, get off the field, and go to next week. And that's what they're going to do.
Paul Justin will just take the snap, kneel on this, and the Rams will go to 4-0. What they were in 1995, but it seems real this time. So for Ron Pitts and Pete Peterson, I'm Ray Bentley saying thanks for tuning in today. And it is the final score, the St. Louis Rams 42. San Francisco 20, and we will now go to Philadelphia for the conclusion of the Dallas and Philadelphia game. We join John Madden and Pat Summerall.